Hello. Welcome back. Oh, I'm just excited to be here. Fortunately and unfortunately, quitting my job wasn't some magic pill that automatically made me happy again. I did feel lighter. I did feel better in that respect because I made a decision, because I was sitting on it for so long trying to figure out, is this really what I want to do? And when I finally decided that, yes, that's what I want to do, and I heard from God on it, and I heard from God on it long before I put it in. But when I finally decided to walk in that, yes, I felt lighter. Yes, I felt better. But still, I had to wake up every day and be with myself. I had to sit with myself to figure out what's going on, hear from God, and figure out what I needed to do next. And so that's what I'm doing. And life, it looks a lot different than it did a few months ago. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm even more grateful that it's August and the only first day of school that I had to be concerned with was my daughters. Today, I'm going to talk to you about why quitting your job alone is not going to heal your burnout. No matter how much you hate your job, no matter how toxic your workplace is, no matter how done you are with it, let me tell you why. Since 2019, I worked as a school counselor. And in that time, I experienced a lot of trauma at work regarding the loss of students and other things, just secondary trauma, hearing about the worst things that can happen to kids happening to kids who I work with day in and day out. During that time, I really wasn't focused on taking care of myself because I had that job. I pretty much, as soon as I became a school counselor, I became pregnant, and so then it was about another life. And then the pandemic hit that same school year. So it was a lot of anxiety around that. And, just a whole lot. So the past few years, I really have not done my best at taking care of myself and setting work-life balance in that way. Not in the way that I bring work home, but I was not dealing with the things that I was experiencing at work. And then I would come home and just, I'm loafing on the couch, I'm, being lazy, I'm playing with my daughter and all that. But when it comes to me, I'm not pouring into me. That can start to take a toll. I felt maybe I just need to change the scenery, because I kept praying to God about it. And the time felt like it would never come for me to leave that job, leave that position. And so although I loved my team and I loved my team at that high school. I loved it. But I knew that it was time for something different for me. I needed a change. I went and interviewed at another school in another town, and that went terribly. The principal, I asked, what are you looking for in a new hire? And he said, somebody with stamina. And I said, you know what? No, thank you. So I removed myself from the equation over there. And then the following year, we ended up selling our house. We were going to move. And I was like, okay, this is the perfect time to just take a sabbatical. But then I was presented with another opportunity, and I chose to continue working, but in a different setting. So I was at a new school. I was working with smaller kids, and I thought, okay, this is the change that I need. And then that ended up not being the best environment for me either. Okay. Beyond me already, experiencing some level of burnout, some level of discontentment with school counseling, that environment just wasn't a good fit for me overall. Now here I am on sabbatical. I quit my job. I finished my contract, and I'm not working. And I have really had to actively pull myself out of this hole that I dug myself into. This school year, we experienced a lot of change that I'm not even gonna get into, but it was just a wild school year all together anyway. And so on top of that, I was using every ounce of my willpower to get up and go to a job that I did not want to have anymore. After a few months, I was just like, you know what? I shouldn't have done this. I became a little depressed. I felt anxious. I felt like I was out of step with God, like I didn't hear God. And I just felt like, you know what? I made the wrong decision, and now that's it. However, I understand that when you are, walking with God and you are trying to lean into your discernment, there's a certain level of you can't go wrong, pretty much. With that being said, I finished out the school year, and now I'm on a sabbatical, and I haven't even really told anybody that I'm doing this. But those who know me know, because I'm not working, and I love that I'm not working. Any chance I get, I'm telling somebody that I'm not working. However, with this break has come a true work. Like, I'm not working a job, but I'm working, okay? Like, I have to actively make sure that I'm consciously spending time with God every day, or almost every day, because I'm not perfect. I have to consciously make sure that I'm going to the gym, because one major thing that I didn't like, that I haven't done these past few years, is really take care of my physical body, like strength training, cardio, just working on my fitness. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been doing that. And so I have become a bit of a gym girly. Okay. So I'm in the gym usually in the mornings, 3 to 5 times a week. And that has really, really, oh my gosh, it has changed the game for me. I'm spending time with God. I'm actively in the gym. I'm in therapy, because during the school year, like, I was in therapy, but I'll go weeks without going. And so now I'm going more consistently. I started a vitamin regimen. I have been to doctor's appointments that I have put off for so long. Like, I got an orthotic for my TMJ issues that I was having. I went to the doctor about my bowel movements, because all school year, my bowel movements have been off. And then it got to the point where there was blood in my stool. And so I went to my doctor, and she checked me out, referred me to a gastro, and I actually had a colonoscopy on Monday. Everything's good, all clear, just a couple internal hemorrhoids. But at least I got it checked out. I went to the gynecologist. I got my yearly for that. I have been having some like sharp pains and some pains in my sides. So they checked me out, gave me a little ultrasound. Everything's all clear there. Pretty sure a lot of this is linked to just the stress of the year, and the stress of all the changes, and the stress of working a job that I just wasn't happy at for a whole school year. That was hard. That was so hard. I'm able to take care of myself, like making my doctor's appointments, spending time with God, like really working on the internal dynamics that are happening, or that were happening, for me to feel so terrible. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. I am just trying to figure out what's next for me. I'm working on myself. I am enjoying parenthood again. I'm enjoying my life again. And it feels good. It feels so good. So all in all, if you're feeling burnt out, quitting your job may be a part of the answer, but more than likely it is not the answer. What can help you is to identify the root causes. So do you have trouble setting boundaries? Are you having trouble with work-life balance? Is your workplace toxic? Ask yourself those things to try to figure out where things are kind of going wrong. And like I said, I'm in therapy consistently. So another aspect of trying to heal your burnout is seeking support, whether that be with your therapist, your pastor, your spouse, a mixture of the three. Getting support can help you manage your workload while you're in it, while also helping you build coping mechanisms, healthy coping mechanisms to help you get through it. Which leads me to my next point, developing healthy coping mechanisms. So like I told you, I am in the gym 3 to 5 days a week. And that's been kind of my anchor during this transition, is I'm in the gym 3 to 5 days a week. I haven't lost that much weight physically, but mentally and spiritually, the load is so much lighter. It is pounds lighter than it was a few months ago. All because I'm just keeping that promise to myself and setting that standard for myself that this is how I'm taking care of myself. This is how I'm coping during this time. And it's pretty much non-negotiable, 3 to 5 times a week. I'm in the gym or I'm outside on a walk. The next thing you need to consider strongly is learning how to set boundaries. That could be at work. So say you are like a school counselor, okay? We get a lot of tasks dumped on us a lot of the time. And sometimes it can feel like, oh, they're just dumping. But you have the power to say no. You have autonomy. You have the power to set boundaries and to advocate for yourself. And so it may be hard in that season when you're feeling so burnt out and so tired, but it can help you, and it can help you get through this, even if just for a season. Lastly, and this is something that I'm still working on, is consider a career change rather than just a job change. I went from working at a high school as a school counselor to working at an elementary school as a school counselor. And I learned that you know what, something is still wrong. If that's the case for you, then your next step may be to try to find a position or a job or a company or organization that is more in line with your values, that you can have a better work-life balance with, and that you can have maybe even a more manageable workload with. If you've tried all these things and you're still feeling burnt out and your mental health is still taking a hit, I want to encourage you to ask yourself, what would it take to truly bring out the joy in you, for you to truly feel at peace, happy, and joyful in your life? I want to encourage you to explore that. Those are my tips on how to manage or heal your burnout, and why quitting your job is not the answer to healing your burnout, because it's usually a lot more going on. All right, that's it for today's video. Until next time, stay true. Bye.